Right, here we are with the CAT PAT, and we're looking at phase 1. This is the DBE 2023 PAT. So I'm just going to scroll down again. Remember that your PAT phase 1, this is where we find and access data and information. We're looking at a maximum of 32 marks, and that'll give you around 21% of the 100% that we need for this paper. Okay, so we know our topic. Guys, you need to read through that, the tasks, etc. And then we're going to go down to what they want from you for phase 1. So let's say, first of all, create a suitable folder structure, then formulate a task definition and focus question, draw up questions to guide the process or the research. In other words, helping you find information for your task. Identify the sources to find quality information. In other words, where have you found the answers to these questions? Where have you found the information? Was it a textbook? Was it a newspaper? Was it an online article? Was it generally the internet? You know, even with the internet, which websites did you use? Identify the research methods that you will use. Perform background research. Critically assess the information sources, as you'll see, and then start the final report, and then we hand in. Okay, so let's go and take a more in-depth look at this, and I'm going to show you one or two of the older PATs that I have so you can get an idea of what you need. Now, when they talk about the folder structure, they're saying here create a main folder, so they want you to create a folder, and I think, let me just see what I've got here. Okay, so there's a typical folder structure, right? If I go out here, and we say, well, okay, we're going to create a folder, Mr Hambury PAT 2023, and then inside that I'll have to have folders again for phase 1 and phase 2, and then phase 3. Okay, so that is the folder structure that they are referring to. Having your main folder, your main PAT folder, and then from there going in and having phase 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so that is our folder structure. There you can see main folder. Within the main folder, each phase must have its own subfolder. That's exactly what I showed you. So you're going to get marks for that. Then the report is the Word document that you need to have in there. So I'm going to show you an old one so you get an idea. And we'll wait for that one to open up. Okay, so here we go. Here's an older one. You can see it's just, and again, this is just phase 1. And we've got our cover page, table of contents, task definition, the focus question, the research questions with the tables, bibliography, a summary, a couple of other things. Okay, so let's go and have a look at what they want. They want a cover page, so you need to create a Word document. On that, you will then need to create a cover page. This is the information your cover page must have. You need an automatic table of contents. You need an automatic table of figures. That's obviously going to go at the end, or if they want it at the beginning, that's also fine. And you need your headings, and here they give you the headings that you should be creating. So table of contents is one, then table of figures. You can actually use this as the structure. So in other words, page 1 will be your cover page, page 2 will be table of contents, page 3 table of figures, page 4 introduction, page 5 task definition, etc. And you go through. So these will be the headings on each new page. Okay, they do say here some of the headings will not have any content until phase 2 or 3, but that is fine. Okay, then they mention an appendix under the heading appendices you created in your report with a diagram or screenshot showing the folder structure. In other words, under this heading appendices, you are going to put maybe a subheading saying folder structure, and then this folder structure which you created. So you'll open your folder structure there, and you'll take a screenshot to show that's my main folder, there are my other folders, my subfolders. So that's done, and you'll put that screenshot in there. Then an appendix with a declaration of authenticity that's included in this document. I think it's right at the end. You'll need to just print that out, sign it, scan it, that type of thing, add it in there as well. Okay, so that's that. Then we move on to the task definition. The task definition, please, font size 12. You need to create a task definition that's around about 300 words. And what is the task definition? Well, I've got a video on the task definition, so go and check that out. But I'm also going to tell you here, your task definition is basically you telling us what you are going to do and how you are going to do it. Give a statement of the problem. Why are you doing the investigation? Well, I'm doing this investigation because there's a problem, or I need to investigate green computing. I need to look at online collaboration tools, whatever the case may be, or I've been asked to do this. What is the focus of your investigation? What is the purpose? In other words, what's the outcome? Well, I want to find out, is green computing actually viable? I want to find out, you know, A, B, and C, whatever it is. But you need to give an overview of that. It needs to be in broad terms. You know, how you're going to approach the task. Well, I'm going to give out a questionnaire. Well, from that questionnaire, I'm going to give out this. I'm going to take that and turn it into a spreadsheet. I'm going to use Microsoft Office to create a PowerPoint presentation, all that type of thing. You need to make sure you're answering these questions. What is the situation? What's the focus? How are you going to go about it? And who is it actually for? Okay, so within 300 words, plus minus 300 words, that is what they are asking you to do for your task definition. Your focus question is a single sentence. A single sentence. Clearly phrased and concise, simply asking a question. It is one question looking at the main focus of your investigation. So, let me just use this one here again. You see, this one had a task with online collaboration tools, automatic table of contents, and the task definition, the purpose of my investigation, the focus of my investigation, right? So that's what they did. And then we've got the focus question. How can online collaboration tools lead to productive teamwork? That is the focus question. One sentence, clear, done. Right, then the big one is this. This is probably the biggest section within your phase 1, and that's creating this or these tables. Okay, so I know with the previous PATs like this one, learners would like first go and create tables like this with the different headings, pop it into different categories, and then they would do a bibliography, then they would verify the various sources. But in recent years, we have just been looking at one massive table. They say, I think it's Appendix D, so let's just go and have a look at that. Okay, that's Appendix B, and we're going to Appendix C, and there we go, Appendix D. So, to make things easier for you, I would just create a table that looks like this, because what you then need to do, and let's just verify what we need to do. We need to look at, there's a certain number of questions they want. Remember, these are the questions that are going to guide your research. In other words, help you find more information. What is the question? There are levels for the questions. There are different categories for the questions as well. Then you need to indicate where you are getting your information from, right? If you have a question, how are you going to answer it? Where are you getting that answer from? And then you are going to be doing some biographical, giving us some biographical information on that source. This, people, relates to the source. Then you are going to verify that as well. You're going to look at the quality. Well, yes, I did find it there. But now on that website, is it objective? Is the information there accurate? Is it current information or is it outdated information? You know, the authority, the coverage, all those type of things. But we need to look at how many of these they actually want from us. So let's go back. Right. So first things first, they say there, give it a suitable heading such as questions and sources table. And there you can see the levels of the questions. All right. So obviously you're going to get marks depending, well, yeah, marks depending on which levels you are going to be using. They want you to have at least 10 questions on 3 of the 4 levels. So in other words, if you have 8 questions on level 1, 1 question on level 2, 1 question on level 3, have you done that? Yes, you have. Have you got 10 questions? Yes, you do. They also want it in 3 different categories. So if we're talking about online collaboration tools, for example, here, and maybe your first category is what is online collaboration tools, or defining online collaboration tools. The next one is how many people know about it, you know, things like that. So you'll have to separate your questions into at least 3 different categories. So the categories, they say, will become headings later in phase 3. And here are some examples. So they even give you that. In the past, they haven't done this. So here are some examples of a category and then a question there as well. So here you go. Here's an example. Question number 1. What are the benefits of using instant messaging? It's a level 2 question and it comes from the background category. Okay, so I hope that clears that up. That's what I'm saying. If you just use that one big table, then you should be fine. So again, 10 questions, 3 levels, 3 categories. Okay, now they continue and then they say for each of the 10 questions you created, you need to have a source to enable you to answer these questions. Now, bear the following in mind. Identify a source, which we said you're going to do. Remember, type of source over here. Then you must use the internet plus at least 1 other source. So if you have 9 of your questions, you're getting your answers from the internet, that's fine. But 1 question has to be, you need to be able to have sourced that answer from somewhere else, whether it is a textbook, an you know, an article, whatever it is. But it's got to be something from something other than the internet. Also, you need to use at least 2 different websites. You can't just get all your info from one website, people. No. And then you are going to provide biographical information for the sources you use, at least 2 websites and 1 other source. In other words, of your 10 questions, right? Bear with me and let's maybe go down to Appendix D so you can understand this clearly. So you'll have your 10 questions, you'll have your 10 levels, your different categories, your types of sources. Then of these sources, hear me clearly now, of these sources, for all of them, you have to provide biographical information. So this section over here, you're going to do for all 10 questions. However, for this section over here, you are only going to complete this, the quality of information found and the summary of information, for 2 websites and that 1 other source. So whether it's a magazine, whether it's your textbook, whatever it is. But you're only going to do that for 3 of the 10 items that you have here. Okay, I really hope you guys are with me with that. Okay, let's go back. I do not want to lose you here. Let's see. Okay. And then that's it. So to hand in for phase 1, copy of the folder, a single report, in other words, that Word document that has a cover page, the headings, task definition, screenshot of the folder structure, and then those questionnaires. Sorry, not questionnaires, questions. So let's go and see how this is actually marked. right? And this is why we always use the rubric. We look at it, we study it to see exactly what they want from us. And here we can see for the task definition, if these questions can be answered with regards to your task definition, you'll get your 4 marks. Okay, so you can get full marks for these things. Your focus question, look at this, just for that single sentence. Is it a sentence? Is it clearly relevant? Is it researchable? Or is it clearly phrased? You'll get your 4 marks. Then, your questions. Do you have a minimum of 10 questions? Are they on 3 or 4 different levels? If your questions are relevant, they are on 3 different levels, they are in 3 different categories, and they are grouped under those categories, you'll get your marks. Then you get another 4 marks for the technical aspects. Do you have your 10 questions? Do you have appropriate sources? Do you have 2 websites as sources plus 1 other source? You'll get your marks. Then from those sources, have you indicated the biographical information for at least 3 sources? So you don't even have to do 10. For at least 3 of them. Please, if you can't find these things for a particular website, just put N/A, not applicable. I know some websites do list these things, others don't. So just double check with your teachers as well. But I mean, that's how I usually accept it. Okay, so if you've got that in place, you'll get your 4 marks, and then the evaluation again for 2 websites and 1 other source, and a summary. Now this summary, they say information from each source used is summarized in the learner's own words. The summary gives information available in the source which is relevant. In other words, a summary of what you found on that particular website. So for that particular source, for that particular question, what did you find on that website you went to? And it's got to be in your own words. So you can see for that table alone, it's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. 24 marks just for the table and its contents. 4 marks for the task definition. That takes us to 28. And then the last 4 marks comes from us actually handing this in. Single report, headings present, an appendix with a diagram, evidence of the sources, in other words, the completed table, and there you go. It's not difficult to put this together. If you use the one table and you pop everything in that table, you will be fine. And this is all that is required from you for the PAT Phase 1 2023